Today's, thank you, that was beautiful. Today's talk is going to be on generosity. Please forgive me because I'm just recovering from a cough, so we need to practice selective hearing. And also, don't worry because you're there and I'm here, so you're not infected. Good. So today's talk is on generosity. Okay, let's start. Okay, how do I do this? I think it's this one. Okay, all right. So in Singapore, there was this young man who had such a big heart that he started the While You Were Sleeping movement. I'm not sure if anybody has heard of it. It's not a very big movement, but it just showed how much compassion and heart for giving that Singaporeans do have. And what he did was, he started to give. He saw his friends in the campus. While studying, they were very tired, so they would sleep in the library or on the desk. So he decided he would help them. So he would give little things like fruits and drinks. And then it became a big thing, and a lot of friends started to join him, and he started giving things to people sleeping in the airport. So that he would give oranges, he would give drinks. And so when you wake up, you'll find your mineral water and drink given by a nice, kind soul that just wanted to give. So I thought that was a delightful story from a young man in Singapore. Here's another story from the Singapore Kindness Movement. The Singapore Kindness Movement has got a lot of stories which I enjoy reading, sometimes for the talks or sometimes just for entertainment. This one really struck me because it just shows that in time of desperation, the person that comes forward to help you is someone you can be so grateful for. So what happened was, this young lady was driving along when suddenly her car ran out of petrol. So she was stuck there in the middle of the road. And so she thought, okay, I'll get out of my car, I will go to a nearest petrol station, and I will get some petrol for my car. Unfortunately, in Singapore, you're not supposed to pump the petrol straight into a can and carry to your car. I think that's not allowed. So she asked the pump attendant, I just need some petrol, my car is stuck. And of course, the petrol station attendant said, no, we don't do that. So she couldn't get petrol. And so, there she was. Either you call a tow truck, what else can you do? You call a tow truck, you call the AA, but she was stuck, she was desperate. When suddenly, another man drove up and said, come, I help you. And he said he's got some spare petrol, so they drove back, and then he poured the petrol in, and she could go on her way. So at that time, when you are desperate, there is no help, the person that comes to help you, you'll be so thankful for, right? So that is the heart of generosity that I want to share with everybody today. There is a study, Spend on Others and Get Happier. This is a study from Harvard University, okay? So about 51 people. You have to spend either $20 or $100 on yourself, all right? One half of the people, before they spend it on themselves or other people, they have to think of an act of generosity that they had done in the past. Okay? The other half, you don't have to think of anything, you just take the money, you can spend it on yourself or other people. And go ahead, you can choose whatever makes you happiest, so go ahead. And there were two findings. The first finding was, people felt happier when they remembered that they bought something for somebody else. And the happier they felt about that act, the more they wanted to do for other people. And it was the same whether it was $20 or $100. The happier you feel about your past generosity, you're more likely that you will spend again to make someone else happy. So what does that mean? It means that when you are generous and you get a boost of happiness, that boost of happiness is going to give you a feedback loop. That means the more generous you are, the happier you will be. And the happier you will be when you think of your past generosity, the kinder and more generous you will be again. So it increases, the morality increases. Okay, let's go on. So kindness equals happiness, and happiness equals kindness. More kindness and generosity equals more happiness. Okay? So this is all backed up by research. So pay it forward. Another study. This is from the San Diego University. From the people from the Department of Sociology. So what they found was this. It is generosity and kindness will spread. Okay? In what way will it spread? So let's have a look at this. On the top you see Eleni. Okay? Eleni is going to do something for Lucas. And Lucas feels so good about it that every single period he would give, because he knows he was reminded of the good deed that Eleni did for him in the past. So every period he would just give, to other people. And because of this Lucas's good deed, it affected other people, and so it went down. Okay, the names are not important, so it went down. And so even after degrees, you see the degrees of separation. After 3 or 4 degrees of separation, the goodness still continues. All right? And that's how kindness spreads in the world. Even if you don't know the people, the kindness have spread. So from Eleni, she doesn't know Jay, she doesn't know Bracken, but she influenced them to be kind through her own acts of goodness. And some people can say, if generosity and kindness spreads, then how about bad deeds and unkind deeds? Will it spread like that? And the answer actually is it can. Okay, so if I'm unkind to somebody, I zap him with electricity, the next period he might think of the unkindness that I have done, and then he will do the same for other people. And we see it sometimes quite commonly in children because they also learn the behaviors from their friends. So yes, it is possible. However, there is a difference between a good deed and a bad deed, in the sense that the good deed has more power to endure. So that means that the good deed will last a lot longer, whereas the bad, unkind deed, sooner or later, they will bomb each other out. Okay, so they'll start killing each other, they'll start murdering each other, because the unkindness is so strong eventually that you still just start killing each other. But the goodness and kindness of the world, it will endure. Okay, so in the suttas actually, the Buddha did say, I have come across, he did say that merits, good deeds, they have a stronger power than bad deeds. A moral person, in a way, has more power over someone who is immoral, who has not so much kindness in himself. There is a difference in goodness. There is a difference in the power, in merits. Okay? So kindness spreads to people that you might not even have met because of your own goodness in your own heart. So it's contagious. When people benefit, they pay it forward. And you don't go back to being your old selfish self. The money a person gives in the first round is triple. Because say Eleni gives $1, then Lucas gives another $1, Bracken and Jay give another. So actually it is triple, quadruple. The kindness has increased. And that is why also in the suttas, it also says that the world goes around with kindness. If you have a kind society, then that group will tend to stay alive. They cooperate, they will sustain themselves longer than a community that is unkind to each other. And in the suttas, the Buddha also said that in communities where there is less social cohesion, where people backstab, where people are unkind to each other, they are more inclined to be attacked by outside influences, by outside threats. Okay, so kindness makes the world go round. It is the social glue of the people. And you need love and kindness for social networks to endure. So, good people bring out the good in other people. So here is a cute picture. This is Hurricane Sandy. I can't remember whether it was in 2012 or 2013. It hit the east coast of America and also blasted into New York. And I thought this picture was cute because this gentleman, the owner of this house, hung up his cord for people to charge their phones. So, okay, scientifically, how does this work? Why is it that when we do acts of generosity or kindness, we become happier? How does this work? So it's actually because of this hormone called oxytocin. It is the hormone that makes people happy. When it is said that when you breastfeed a child, that's the hormone that comes, that is secreted in your brain and makes you love the child more. It is called the hormone of love. And it has been shown that if you're more kind and generous, that hormone circulates more in your body. And what does oxytocin do? It decreases heart attacks, increases vitality, more energy, and life expectancy. So what are the health benefits? Okay, so this is medical, okay? This is scientific, all right? What people have researched on today, okay? Then after that, we will go back 2,500 years to see what the Buddha said. So the next slide, the health benefits of kindness. A sense of well-being, an increase in energy, decreased feelings of loneliness, depression, and helplessness, greater sense of calmness and relaxation, increased longevity, you get to live longer, better weight control, improvement in insomnia, stronger immune system, reduction in pain, healthier cardiovascular system. That cardiovascular system means your heart and your blood vessels, right, and your veins. Reduction of high blood pressure, improved circulation, reduced coronary artery disease, relief from arthritis and asthma, speedier recovery from surgery, and reduced cancer activity. If I have time, I will let you know that there is actually research on speedier recovery from surgery, definitely, and also better heart performance, okay, from being kind, from being generous. But what did the Buddha say? What are the benefits of kindness? The Buddha said there are 5 rewards of generosity. One is dear and appealing to people at large. One is admired by good people. One's good name is spread about. One does not stray from the rightful duties of the householder. It means you know what is good, when to give, how to give even when you want to make people happy. When people need it, you are there to give. And with the breakup of the body at death, one reappears in a good destination, in the heavenly worlds. And even if you're a new Buddhist or you don't believe really in rebirth, the effects will show even now with all the good things that will happen with you and with your community, with your relatives, with the people that you are with. All right? So therefore, live longer with kindness. Okay, so again, the helper's high. When we help others, it allows us to forget ourselves. When we carry out an act of kindness, our body rewards us by circulating more endorphins, giving us a feel-good sensation. So there you go. Here's another hormone that is going to make you happier. Apart from oxytocin, there are the endorphins, right? Which you can get also during exercise, but also during doing a good deed. And it boosts your self-esteem, it boosts your well-being, and they are morphine-like, so they make you happier, and therefore it decreases the intensity of pain. Alright, so even witnessing is good. If you witness those who have given and you feel good, you also will get that boost. Okay, so if you see someone giving up a seat in the bus for an old lady or a pregnant lady, and you say, yeah, that's good, and you rejoice in it, you also get the health benefits. You also feel happier. Does that strike a chord in anybody? Is there anything similar in Buddhism? Yes, right? Yes, I see you smiling sweetly. Yes, there is. Oh, what is it? Something parallel in Buddhism. Yes, appreciative joy. Yes, that's right. So it's one of the 4 Brahma Viharas, right? Appreciative joy. Well, there you go. Backed up by science. When people do something good and you think, "Ayo, selfish lah, just want to boost your own ego." Sorry. No appreciative joy there, right? But if you do feel that joy, partake in that joy, that is so much healthier. Think of your own heart. It's so much healthier and you feel happier. And the next time around, maybe you will be encouraged to do the same thing. Okay, so there you go. This is also in Hurricane Sandy, and this pizza shop is offering free pizza for people who have no food. So good. And also, modern science says, do not expect rewards. Is that familiar as well? But what they say is, if you don't expect anything, therefore you will not be disappointed. Therefore, do not expect anything. So later we will see what the Buddha says about this. All right? That concept is correct. You know, when you give something, try not to expect something back. So if you expect to have a good rebirth, or you expect to maybe get a favor back from the person, maybe the value and the kindness, the generosity of the gift maybe is diluted a bit, because the mind is a little bit tainted by your own selfishness, that you want something back. So let's go on. You don't have to carry out major acts of goodness. It can be a little bit every day to gain the health benefit. So brief, small acts of kindness are also counted. Okay? So a beggar, and you give something, for instance, and you alleviate the hunger. So that's a good thing as well. There is a story that I've heard. I've never read it in the internet, and I've not found it in the suttas. So if anybody knows the link to this, the location of this, I would love to hear it. When I was very small, my mother used to tell me this story. She said that long time ago, there was a small boy, and he saw a wise man passing. I suppose it could be a passing bodhisattva or Buddha. And he really wanted to give something. And just like us, you know, when a monk comes, we will cook, you know, or bring something, you know, towels, drinks, you know, Milo, and then we will offer, right? So he really wanted to. But he had nothing. He was a poor street boy. So he made a mud cake, you know, mud on the floor. So he made a mud cake and he offered to this wise man. And because of that deed, in the future, he became King Asoka because of that wise deed, and he had all the riches, of course, and you know, he had all riches, all the armies in the world because of that single mud cake. I don't know the source of this, but it was so beautiful, and I remembered this until today. So, it is not a big thing that you need to give. A small thing also is important, right? And now, I will go to what the Buddha says about generosity and giving. Okay, this is general. This is Venerable Sivali. Venerable Sivali, who can tell me where he is now? Correct answer is he's enlightened lah. So no more lah. So, but actually he is here. I think he's next to Ananda, Venerable Ananda. He is. There you go. He is next to Arhan Apali, and that's Arhan Sivali there. So, you know, a bit of him is still here with us today. In sculptures, he is always carved out like this, okay, with a walking stick and an umbrella, traveling to teach the Dhamma. And he is, you can see he has no shoes, and he is not very well endowed, like no gold or horses or elephants, you know, he is just him. He is just a humble monk. And he was renowned in the Pali Canon for being one of the most generous monks around, such that if you travel with him, you will never go hungry, because you know that people will just give and give. They see Venerable Sivali. I don't know why I keep thinking General Sivali. If you see Venerable Sivali, you never be hungry. You will get shoes, you will get medicine, you will get clothes, because people will give to him, and in return they'll give to the monks around him, and of course he will share what he has. This is written by Ajahn Lee. He says, no matter which of the 4 requisites he has, food, clothing, shelter, medicine, no matter how much or how little, he would share before he took it himself. And that is why being generous is said to tie the knot of friendship and to wipe out your enemies. So, it just reminds me of the Bagon. So, wipe out your enemies. Anyway, so this is written by Ajahn Lee Dhammadharo in respect to Venerable Sivali. A long, long time ago, the legend has it that he was in a village a long, long time ago. Let's call him X because it's not Venerable Sivali. In a past life, he was called something else which I can't remember, so I will call him X. Okay, so, and he used to sell honeycomb. Okay, the honeycomb made by bees, and then he would travel to the villages and sell these honeycombs. And when he was traveling, excuse me, when he was traveling to this village one day with his sack of honeycomb, it was the same time that Buddha was passing by. And of course, not our Buddha, a Buddha from the past. And another guy came, okay, another lay follower. And he really, really wanted to give this Buddha something. Okay, let's call him Y. So Y said, oh wow, look, honeycomb, great for a dessert. You know, that will be the culminating dessert in the feast for my Buddha. So he wanted to buy the honeycomb. So he went up to Venerable Sivali and said, I want to buy a honeycomb. And Sivali said, I only have little left, you know, and I want, you know, there are many people, so, you know, why should I sell it to you? You know, other people also want, you know, something like that. So Y said, no, I need to have this. It's what I'm going to offer the Buddha. You must give it to me. And Sivali said, no, I only have so little left, cannot. So Y said, I must have it. I will give you $8,000 for this piece of honeycomb. I don't know, in equivalent Singapore dollars. So $8,000 for a piece of honeycomb. And Sivali said, why? Why are you so stupid? $8,000 for honeycomb? That's ridiculous, what? $8,000. So Sivali said, why do you want to do this? And of course, Y explained that I want to give this to the Buddha. And it was that moment was an epiphany. That means a spark of knowledge, a spark of, you know, I suppose epiphany can be explained as in you suddenly realize something. It just dawned on you like a light bulb. And from that moment, Sivali understood the power of generosity because he understood the generosity in this young person. So he gave the honeycomb to this person free. Okay, you don't have to give me the $8,000, you can have it free. And it is said that the devas around were so impressed by Sivali because he gave up the $8,000 and, you know, just to give the honeycomb away. From then onwards, they all protected him until even in this life. So there you go. An act of generosity can last lifetimes because you just never know. People appreciate. In the next life, okay, I'm speculating here, okay? In the next life, people will be grateful to you because of your generous heart, okay? So they will give, they will protect you. And that was what happened to Sivali. It is said that even the devas will give him, you know, whatever he needed when he was in his last birth as Venerable Sivali. So there you go. No horses, no gold, no chariots, just him alone, and he was rich like anything, right? Okay, so generosity is also the very basic of our Buddhist practice. Very, very basic. You can be contemplating being a thief, a murderer, but it's okay. If you're the scum of the earth, it's okay. You start from generosity, start from giving. That is the very basis of our moral path. And so I will give you an example. The 10 paramis are actually not found in the Theravada canon. It's not found. It is actually a later theory by the Mahayana people to talk about the training that a bodhisattva has to go through before he becomes a Buddha. Okay? The number one parami means perfection. The number one is generosity. And there are stories that go with each parami. And the story about generosity is this story about the bunny. Every time we talk about the bunny on the moon, we think about moon cake. And then we think about Chang'e, right? We think about this emperor in China then wanted to kill his wife, something like that. But you know, that's how the story came. And then so she brought her pet rabbit to pound the mooncake on the moon. And so that is how the moon is sometimes imaged as a bunny, right? This story precedes all that. This story is about a long time ago. There was a very wise person. So you could say, I don't know, a wise person, okay, a wise ascetic. And he was living in the forest. And of course, in those days, in the forest, there are no villagers, nobody that is going to give you food. So, you know, maybe he had to cook his own. So he built his fire. By that time, there was no food. So there were a few animals. So you can see the monkey giving something. And then in this picture, what is it? Goat, dog, giving something else. Okay, so everybody wanted to give something. But the bunny had nothing to give. So he decided, okay, I will offer myself. So apparently, he said to the ascetic, okay, you have no food to eat, I will offer myself. And he jumped into the fire, hoping to cook himself, so that the ascetic will have something to eat. And then, of course, since there's young children here, and it's not a violent story, it's a family talk. The bunny didn't die. 没有死. And you know, legends lah, huh? The ascetic suddenly turned himself into Sakra, okay, the king of the heaven of the 33, and saved the bunny. And of course, you know, and because out of his gratefulness, okay, the appreciation of that generosity of that bunny, apparently he etched the image of the bunny on the moon. So isn't that a beautiful story to accompany the first parami? It reminds me of just an aside. It is just a joke. Has anyone read the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? That there's this this guy, the protagonist. He walked to a restaurant in outer space, and then the waiter says, "Oh, you want to order something? Oh, beef. How about beef? Okay." So he let the cow in, and then this is just a joke, nothing to do with this talk. And the cow said, "Oh, hello, please eat me." And then see, this part is a tenderloin, this part is the rump, you know, very tender and delicious. So this story just brought to mind that joke. But okay, so back to it, back to being serious. So yes, this is the parami of generosity. And also, it is one of the ways of making merit. Straightforward, right? I'm sure everybody knows that. This is from the Anguttara, okay? Book of the 8th, Sutta 33. There are, amongst 3 ways of making merit. What 3? Number 1 is generosity. Number 2 is... sorry? Okay, number 2 is keeping your virtue, okay? Keeping your precepts. Number 3 is... yes, mental cultivation. Yes, accumulating wisdom. So there are 3 ways of making merit. It's not just making merit giving. Yes, it is. It is one of the... It's number 1, okay? Number 2 is keeping your virtue. Number 3 is mental cultivation. All right? And of course, the Buddha also said, no misers go to the Deva realms. Correct, right? It makes sense. If you're a miser and you hope to go to heaven after you die,